All right, Yuri, let's give some tips for this test that we've got. Oh, we don't want to show that test back of it. So we got this test in front of us. We're just going to go through some tips, Yuri and I over here. What is the estimated length of time of the blank era? Interesting. So a couple things with studying for this test. Question number 1, topic test breakdown. If I click right there, man, what a nice teacher. A whole list of each question. Number 6 is 2. Number 9 is 2. Yuri, did you sneak some answers in there? It's a nice guy. So, using the ESRT, length of time of a period era. Well, let's go to our ESRT. Click on this. Scroll right to page 8 and 9. Length of time of a era, of a period. I've got to use these numbers right here. So if I look at these numbers, let's use the Jurassic, for example. It's from 200 million years ago to 146 million years ago right there. So, hey Siri, what's 200 minus 146?
It's 54.
The answer for the Jurassic would be 54. You just subtract your numbers. So this first question is not asking about the Jurassic period. It's asking for a different era. So for the eras, you still look at the numbers to match those up. Okay. Let's go back. Test breakdown. Geologists have subdivided geologic time based on. So what was it that we were looking at? This whole topic for breaking down geologic time. All of this is based off of the rock record, the fossil record, what we see in the rocks. What percentage of geologic time since the estimated origin of the Earth is represented by... Well, let's just go over that. So geologic time. From the beginning of Earth, 4,600 million years ago, 4.6 billion years ago. Most of it is the Precambrian, all the way up to there, about 85% Precambrian. The last 15% is Phanerozoic, and the last 1/10 of 1% is where the humans have been around for. Age of the Earth, pretty straightforward there. When did the blank period end for number 5? Just looking up numbers on there. Let's do a different example. When did the Devonian period end? 359. Number 8, 9, 10. What event occurred at the start of the blank era? So looking up, the start of the Paleozoic would have been the events down here. The start of the Mesozoic would be these events right here. The start of the Cenozoic would be these. So the start of the Cenozoic is the end of the Paleozoic. Which life forms existed on Earth during the same amount of time? So hopefully we remember using this chart right here and figuring out like ammonoids existed when vascular plants did. Graptolites did not exist at the same time as dinosaurs. Dinosaurs did not exist at the same time as people, stuff like that. So using these lines and events. What process caused this unconformity? So unconformities. What makes unconformities? You guys did pretty good with that. 17 I gave you the answer for. Matching up for number 19, Yuri. Yuri thinks I'm going a little fast. I don't know. I don't want to make this video all day. What geologic epoch did this happen in? So matching up millions of years ago to an epoch. So to not show you too much of the test, you've got a time scale right there with some different millions of years ago, and being able to match up, 50 million years ago, 40 million years ago, 30 million years ago with what epoch those would match up with. You would look over here for question 19. Ooh, why have dinosaur fossils not been found in New York State? We didn't spend a ton of time on this one here. So here's the New York State rock record. We've got some sediment from the Quaternary. We don't have on record Neogene or Paleogene. There's some sediment from the Cretaceous, so we could get a few dinosaur fossils there. But most of the dinosaurs' time, like Triassic, Jurassic, there was no rocks being made at that time in New York State. This fossil is 425 million years ago. What geologic time period was that alive in? That was 21. Which fossil is Ordovician? So looking up which fossils lived in the Ordovician, if we're looking on this time scale here, Cambrian was A, Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, any letters, Devonian that match up with there would work. Which event occurred most recently or least recently? So if I cover that up, there's a cross section right there. Which event occurred most or least recently? So put those in order. You've got some videos with me in depth explaining cross sections like this. You can see a bunch of questions on that same cross section. There's more questions on the back on that same cross section. So if you look through that Regents Review video, I explain all that stuff. You really should watch that again. Putting rocks in order again. So if you take a cross section, I'm just going to leave a couple questions visible for you, so get rewarded for seeing a few questions and if you're watching this video. Putting these events in the cross section in order. Okay, do you see that intrusion right there? These are called dikes and sills, and they come up through and they go horizontally, vertically, but you can see the contact metamorphism. So all of this stuff came in last. It came in after all these other rocks. This is not a new cross section, I don't believe. I explain it in that other video also. So looking at this cross section, different things. You can see some faulting and some tilting over here. You see how this intrusion is going across the other intrusion? So this intrusion right here is newer than this intrusion right there because it metamorphosed it. So it cut across it. You can see an erosion surface, looks like right there. It's an unconformity. So going through those cross sections like that. Here's a peek at 2 questions, since you're watching this video that long. Oh, another big cross section that you've seen before. So putting these events in order. If I show you this cross section here, which feature is either oldest or youngest? Yuri wants to be in the picture. The unconformities. What are unconformities? The movement of bedrock along fault Q makes, remember, anytime rocks move, if you make a fault, that's an earthquake. What rock is likely formed in the contact metamorphic zone between 2 of those rocks? So the contact metamorphic, figuring out what, between rocks F, between X and Y, which, metamorphic rock would be formed there. Just might as well show you question 37. Okay, so if we look back at this test breakdown, look through here. There's a bunch of clues and stuff to do. I showed you some questions. There's some answers straight up on there. So those will be on the board, and hopefully we get those all right. Okay, what do you think, Yuri? Any other tips? Watch that other Regents Review video that is found right. If you click on any of these class periods, your Regents Review video is right here. I would watch it. Yuri likes it. So good luck.